cannot lose another game.
But if there's a division to come back from, it's that one, right? I mean, are the Steelers really that dominant in the lead right now? Yeah,
the Jaguars, you thought the Giants loss was bad?
Yeah.
That might be worse. 2011 Broncos play today's Broncos. Who wins?
That is a very good game and a very good question. This time, both defenses are really good, so both quarterbacks just suck in the fourth quarter. I completely buy it. I've been on this since week one. We got a guy who's won it 3 times in the worst field possible. It's the Legion of Little Boom right now, but they're not quite the Legion of Little Snake River. But speaking of blowing it, this is reminiscent right now of the Federer-Nadal 08 Wimbledon final in the twilight. This is like Federer hitting it into the net because he can't see. No.
The question is, and I'm not trying to disparage any NFL team in particular, but could this be the worst first-place team you have ever seen? At least in the last 20 years. Let's just mark it for the last 20 years. Is this the worst first-place team in the NFL?
No, well, I don't know. There's a year that's escaping me where the Titans started out like 13-0. I think it was like 08 or 09 or something, and it was just like this completely anonymous team looking back on it. Ended up being like a total pretender in the postseason. You could make an argument, but I think the argument I would make is this is the weakest field in the NFL since at least 2000, if not my entire lifetime. Like in 2000, the Ravens ended up emerging with an all-time great defense. You had Jamal Lewis on the offense. But, was it an all-time great team? It's hard to say, but you look at who's across the way, and the Kerry Collins New York Giants in the Super Bowl, I mean, that was kind of a questionable, and they beat the Minnesota Vikings 41-0 in the NFC Championship game. Like, I don't know, the 2000 era was pretty odd. I think you're kind of in a similar spot, Dirk. Now, what do you think about this?
All right, so I think that this defense in Denver is incredible. And I actually am going to go against what you said earlier in the year of saying that this is not comparable to some of the Broncos teams' best. I actually think this is right up there. Maybe not quite as good, but they are darn good at keeping this team that just cannot score. I mean, look at this last Raiders game. This has been a travesty from the offense.
It has.
And, the punt-to-pass ratio, not to go back to that stat or anything, was abysmal, and it still is abysmal. It's an evaluation. Now, I would say the Broncos team overall is actually pretty darn good because of that defense. I think there's a lot of good facets to it. The loss of J.K. Dobbins is going to be problematic moving forward. But I wouldn't say it's the worst first-place team. I do think, though, now hear me out on this before you just completely go wild, okay? Is that, do you remember that year where in Cincinnati, Carson Palmer had one of those playoff years? I think that team would actually beat this Broncos team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
trying to find the most mid-level teams. That's like the most mid-level team I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Broncos have been in nail-biters with the Jets, the Giants, the Titans, like the Raiders. I mean, some bad teams. So that's not out of the question at all. They're one bad performance away from losing a home playoff game to someone. I mean, they've got to have more consistency. At the same time, you give yourself a chance to win, and you're right. The defense is very good. I am just not sold it's like an elite one yet until I see them shut down like an elite offense, right? I mean, they did hold Philly down to 17, but the Eagles have struggled against a number of other teams this year, too.
Did you see that Green Bay game?
I think it's like you look at some of the teams the Broncos have really shut off. You've got the, Mills, Texans, you got, the Raiders. It is a very impressive unit. And I'm not trying to like throw shade, but I'm not going to compare them to the 2015 Broncos who, completely shut off everyone in the postseason that year.
Okay, here's a real question, and I'm not trying to troll.
Sure.
2011 Broncos play today's Broncos. Who wins?
That is a very good game and a very good question. I don't know. that is actually probably the best possible matchup.
It's a great matchup. The over-under bet of 20. Are you taking the over?
Here's the bizarre thing that happens, Dirk. Everyone thinks it's going to be this great, like, both teams suck during like the entire 3 quarters down the stretch.
That fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter. Well, guess what?
Man.
This time both defenses are really good, so both quarterbacks just suck in the fourth quarter, and you just have a bunch of turnovers, and it ends up in a tie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. We have to talk about it. After Sunday's performance, there's a couple teams that may have just broken their whole season. So we're going to talk about 2 teams in particular, but we're first going to start off with what is wrong with the Bills. The Bills have now lost twice to a very bad Dolphins team. They're frankly holding Mike McDaniels?
Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel's job has been held together by Josh Allen's ineptitude against, unfortunately, the Dolphins. And we love Josh Allen. There's nothing against Josh Allen. But the Bills, there are alarms going off.
Well, yeah, they can't stop the run.
Not only can they not stop the run, did you see some of those decisions that Josh Allen was making? It looked like his rookie year again. And again, we love Josh Allen, but it's like pouring water on oil, like on a grease fire.
Yeah, I'm still not too worried about it with the Bills. I think that they are going to get into the playoffs. They may have really screwed up their home field advantage, though, with this loss.
Yeah,
I mean, that's tough.
That's gone.
I don't think it's over just yet. Like the Patriots with 2 losses right now, but we still have a lot of football. There's still like 7 weeks of games left, so a lot can happen. But they blew a golden opportunity. At the end of the day, though, I think if you're Buffalo, look, I know that there's an entire field of AFC teams, but if you're a Bills fan, the only thing you're worried about is can we make sure that we host the Chiefs if that playoff game happens?
Dude, I don't even know if the Chiefs make it, though. Right now, they're not in contention. They are not in a wild card spot right now.
They're going to be there.
You think so?
I
Dude,
do.
The AFC is sneakily good at the top. Now, the vast majority, like if you take the over, like NFC, like just the median of the NFC versus the median of the AFC, NFC is far better. Because there's so many bad teams in the AFC. But the top end, the cream of the crop on the AFC side, they're good. They're really good.
I mean, here's the deal, though. Vegas is not in the business of losing money all the time. Who's the odds-on favorite right now to win the Super Bowl?
Who is it, Mike?
The Chiefs. The Chiefs are the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl right now.
I just don't buy that, though. I just don't buy that.
I completely buy it because you've got a guy who's won it 3 times in the worst field possible.
All right. I will respect Mahomes. I respect the experience. Hey, we just talked about Sheridan, right? The momentum that goes behind that. But they have proven to lose. This isn't the infallible team that it was 2 or 3 years ago. I think you're seeing a lot of chinks in the armor. Now, I think there are some sneaky teams that are really good. The Colts are surprisingly maintaining a pretty darn good performance. And Jonathan Taylor,
a decent team.
Jonathan Taylor's giving me Adrian Peterson vibes, man. Like Adrian Peterson, that first 2 years when he won, and then when he wins the MVP. Like if Jonathan Taylor does not win the MVP this year, there's no reason to ever allow anyone outside of a quarterback to ever be in. Just call it the quarterback award.
Well, I mean, we already had this last year, right?
I agree with
Barkley
that.
didn't just do it in the regular season. He did it in the post.
And we had that same similar thing, right? And I'm just saying, if he doesn't win it, like, what are we doing here?
I mean, I agree. It should have gone to Barkley last year. It should go to Taylor again this year, especially this year where there's not a standout quarterback right now. But I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, Dirk. I still, you're talking like, if it's not the Bills, you're talking Drake May in his first postseason appearances.
No, I can't get with that.
You're talking about Daniel Jones. You're talking about
hold on.
Bo
Daniel
Nix.
Jones has turned out to be pretty darn good.
But are you going to take Daniel Jones in a head-to-head with Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs?
You got to take that in totality. It's not just Daniel Jones.
I'm aware. But how many times has Mahomes ended up in the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm like, the money I think still is on the Chiefs. I get where you're coming from.
But what about like if you let's say the Chiefs win the AFC. Because right now, if I had to put it down, let's say it's Chiefs, Colts, Chiefs. I mean, it could be Chiefs, Colts, Chiefs, Bills, right?
It could.
That's a pretty good type of thing. And maybe even Chiefs, New England. New England is a wild card. They've been fantastic. I'm not disparaging the Broncos. I just don't see them making it past the the AFC Championship game or the AFC divisional games. I should say.
Maybe the defense catches fire though. But here's one other team out there to keep an eye on. I know they hit a weird lull, but if we're talking about a team that has a very good quarterback, has good balance, everything. Could the Chargers make a run this year? Are they
surprisingly turning it around?
Yeah.
They need to figure out that running back spot, and it looks like Vidal has come in and really turned that around. They had the rookie who was surprisingly good the first, I think, 2 weeks, but then after that, there was a lull in performance. He gets injured.
Yeah.
Vidal comes in. That really shakes things up on the offensive side. The defense has been there. I don't know how Mac is still in and around, but there's been some shoring up that needs to happen on the defense. No one's talking about Harbaugh, which is surprising. That felt like that was all the talk last year, and they're good. I think they're one of the sneakiest. What are they? Are they 6-3 or 7-2? No, they're 6-3.
Maybe
they're 6-3 right now.
Maybe 7-3. It might be 7-3.
They haven't had their bye week, but either way,
yeah,
they are a really good team as well, and that's what I'm talking about. On the top end of the AFC, it's really not that bad. The AFC gets a bad rap because they have the Jets, the Raiders, the Browns. Should we keep going?
Well, I mean, yeah, but you can also throw one other potential dark horse out there, right? I mean, this is the last couple weeks. We've seen it with the Lamar Jackson coming by. Is Baltimore truly dead? If Henry is there, can they get healthy enough on the offense?
Their back's against the wall with those guys, though. Like, they got to continue to win. They got to, they cannot lose another game.
But if there's a division to come back from, it's that one, right? I mean, are the Steelers really that dominant in the lead right now? The Browns and the Bengals are cooked. And those teams are done. So Baltimore has a shot, it's not over.
Of course they do, but they also have to go through Pittsburgh.
I know, I think they can. That's my thing. I think that could be a team that no one wants to see in the playoffs if they get in hot, right?
Which one?
Baltimore.
You think?
Yeah, I think if they're playing well, if they get healthier again.
I'm not convinced that defense is good enough for the postseason yet.
They got banged up. I agree, but theoretically, we've seen Lamar Jackson time and time again come in with these great teams that are playoff favorites and struggle in the postseason. What happens if he goes with a team that's not a favorite and he ends up turning in a great postseason performance? All of a sudden, you could be looking at Baltimore making a run.
So we talked right there about how the Bills are kind of cooked, but we think that they can get back in. The team that I think their season's done because of this weekend's loss is the Jaguars.
Yeah, the
Jaguars. Brutal. That is. You thought the Giants' loss was bad?
Yeah.
That might be worse.
Yeah.
That literally might be worse.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely gave that one away, I think. I mean, credit to the Texans for pulling it out. But yeah, Jacksonville, had they won that game, legit playoff contender for sure.
Absolutely.
Maybe a division contender still in it. Now, I don't think that they really have a very strong chance. I really think it's going to be hard for them to, they're going to have to. Here's one way: if they were to upset Denver in December, they've got to pull a game like that out to get back into it. I just don't know that it's going to happen.
Dude, Houston's a dark horse, I think, for that division too.
Could be.
Overall, it's going to be hard to catch up with the Colts. Yeah.
Speaking of blowing it, this is reminiscent right now of the Federer-Nadal 08 Wimbledon final in the twilight. This is like Federer hitting it into the net because he can't see.
No. NFC side, we did not get to talk about the NFC. No. I am firmly committed that as it stands through 11 weeks of the NFL, the Rams are the best team in football right now.
I've been on this since week 1.
Maybe the second best team is in that same division, and that's Seattle.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, I would have said no chance. Darnold was like a one-hit wonder with Minneapolis. They really hit on him, and that was fantastic. I cannot believe how good that Seattle team is.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised by it. And frankly, I have a hard time believing that they're going to be able to be kept down by Sirianni and the Eagles.
Yeah, it's the Legion of Little Boom right now, but they're, not quite the Legion of Little Snake River, but
I know that also in a head-to-head matchup, the Rams have not beat Sirianni when he's been with the Eagles. It's like 0-5 against Sirianni with the Eagles, but I do think that this is Stafford's year to change that if they were to meet each other in the playoffs. I honestly think the Rams are a Super Bowl team. They're going to make it all the way. Tell me I'm wrong, Mike.
I mean, I thought Adams was a brilliant signing. I think that they really structured the team well. The Rams.
That's what I thought DeAndre Hopkins was going to be like.
Yeah. I don't think he's got quite as much in the tank as Devontae does. But yeah, I mean, on paper, I think this Rams team does it, man. They're my pick. But health is a big part of it. And then there is the wild card that, Philly does end up catching fire again, too. The Rams have not been able to slow that run game down against the Eagles. But Philly's had some offensive line injuries this time around. They're not as healthy, so,
and also the false start's getting called. The false start on the tush push is actually getting called.
That is true also. If I was to throw another NFC sleeper team out there that could make
Cowboys,
a little bit of noise. No, not the Cowboys. No, absolutely not. I do think, I still feel like Green Bay has an outside shot at knocking someone off. I don't think they're going to make a Super Bowl run. I think they could knock someone off, though, in a one-off. They're tough defense, play tough football.
Defense. They rival the Broncos with another great defense. I think it's between Green Bay. I know people will say Kansas City's is up there. I don't think it's quite as good as the Broncos. It's got to be Denver, Green Bay, and Houston in the top 3 defenses.
They're good.
Yeah, but not. I totally agree, Mike. Totally agree.